and this is a slide that I put together, I don't know, sometime last year, as we were thinking about how we were going to brand what is now Granite State College, how we're going to go to market, in other words. So today, as everybody knows, we have three campuses in the University of New Hampshire: the campus in Durham, the campus in Manchester, and the law school up in Concord. I'm not going to talk about the law school. The law school is completely unaffected by the merger. They really run only graduate programs, and so not really something that we need to review. So we have two campuses that we're talking about. We refer to them, the Durham campus, as UNH Durham. Sometimes people refer to it just as UNH, and we all from time to time find that irritating. Or the University of New Hampshire main campus. That is also language that you will see sometimes referred to in advertisements on NHBR and places like that. UNH Manchester is either UNH Manchester, and sometimes we also talk about it as University of New Hampshire at Manchester, to sort of reinforce the sense of place. Now, it turns out, somewhat conveniently, historically, that the name of our college here is also called UNH Manchester. So UNH has 7 colleges. 5 of them are on the UNH Durham campus. One college is principally based here in Manchester, and then the 7th college is the law school. Now, the colleges in Durham actually have names that kind of relate directly to what they do. So the College of Business and Economics, you can probably guess, are about teaching and doing research in the area of business and economics. College of Health and Human Services, College of Liberal Arts, College of Engineering and Physical Sciences. UNH Manchester describes where we are. It doesn't really describe our programs. And that's always been kind of a awkward situation, because when people say, I'm going to UNH Manchester, you're never quite clear about whether they're talking about attending the campus or whether they're undergraduates in the college. Because the reality is we actually have programs that are taught here at the UNH Manchester campus that are offered by the Paul College of Business and Economics and the College of Liberal Arts. It's not just UNH Manchester, the college. So we have thought for years about whether we actually wanted to change the name of the college to better reflect not where we are, but what we do. And we never really convinced ourselves we needed to do that until the Granite State College merger came on the scene, and the University System Board of Trustees, which is the managing board, which is responsible for the overall university system, including our sister campuses at Keene and Plymouth, they decided that the best place to merge Granite State College into was the University of New Hampshire, Manchester. And so you can imagine that when presented with that, we couldn't keep calling our college UNH Manchester, because it didn't really reflect the fact that now 3,000 students from Granite State College were now going to be part of our college. So we went back to our earlier work thinking about rebranding the college, and we said, we like this name, the College of Professional Studies, because it reflects the fact that we have a lot of programs here that range all the way from the liberal arts to science and engineering. And what do you call a college within UNH that has that breadth of academic study, especially with 50 programs from Granite State College that are online? And there were many sort of names thrown around, but College of Professional Studies kind of stuck, because Granite State especially is all about adult learners and non-traditional students who are trying to get that degree that they've been working on, most of them for many years, and really advance in their professional career. And to some degree, Manchester is like that too. You're all here. You tend to be a bit more job focused or career focused, or in a different place in your lives than an average student starting as an 18-year-old in Durham. And so we embrace this idea of, yeah, we think we should be the College of Professional Studies located at UNH Manchester, right? So it wasn't going to be changing the name of this campus. This campus has great community identity. So if we go to the next slide, Winders. Oh, I'm sorry, Angela. Oh, next, prior one. There you go. So this is what things are going to look like on July 1. So the first thing you should notice here is that almost nothing is going to change. We're still going to refer to this campus as UNH Manchester. Students are still going to apply on the Common App to the Manchester campus, just like you did when you all applied here. The only difference is undergraduate students that get admitted here are actually going to be students in the UNH College of Professional Studies. But you are going to be UNH Manchester students. We're still going to have T-shirts and sweatshirts and swag that say UNH Manchester. We love the sense of place. You know, we're all members of the Manchester community. The only thing is, you're officially going to be members of the College of Professional Studies located at UNH Manchester. That's actually going to help on the Durham campus because we actually have students that are part of our college on the Durham campus. We have 225 students enrolled in the Homeland Security program in Durham. And it's been kind of awkward to think about them as UNH Manchester students because they're not at Manchester. So they're going to be part of the College of Professional Studies located at UNH Durham. So we think in some ways this is actually going to clarify things that were not very clear before, because we had this ambiguity when we talked about UNH Manchester about whether, are you talking about the campus? Because I go there, but I'm not an undergraduate. I'm taking a grad program and it's being offered by the Paul College of Business and Economics. So now that's going to be clear. Undergrads here are going to be part of the College of Professional Studies, but they're going to be attending principally at Manchester. You're still going to be able to take any class you want on the Durham campus. Nothing about the merger is going to change that. You have all the access to Durham courses and programs that you had before. None of that is going to change. So go to the next slide if you would, Angela. This is just kind of an org chart just to reinforce this. So the way, and this is kind of like internal org structure stuff that you as students, don't need to care about. But, as we're bringing Granite State College in, we're actually going to operate them in a kind of an autonomous way, or they're going to retain a significant amount of independence in their operation, because the way they serve and support students is very different than we do here. Number one, students sign up for credit hours. They don't sign up for a semester of attendance. So they sign up for individual courses and they pay for individual credit hours. They have very different methods of student engagement. They have different admission standards. So Granite State College is an open admission school. So anyone can attend, irrespective of their academic record, their SAT scores, their GPA. We think it's important to maintain that and not impose different admissions requirements. They need a different number of credits to graduate from Granite State College today. You need 128 at a minimum. They only require 120. But that is how the online market works. And so organizing this, we're going to have a Manchester division, which is this college today, but we're going to operate Granite State College as a somewhat arm's length division within the college reporting to me. But there's going to be interaction between those two divisions when it comes to the student experience. So if you go to the next slide, Angela. So what's the overall impact? I think the impact, especially to Manchester students, is going to be pretty minimal. And I think, frankly, it's going to be all positive. So you're going to stay UNH students, but you're going to be members of UNH CPS. The Manchester campus is going to be UNH Manchester or UNH at Manchester. New undergrad students will attend this campus physically and be enrolled in programs in CPS. You're going to continue to pay the way you pay. Semester-based tuition, anything between 12 and 20 credits is the same price. Nothing about your experience here in terms of how you attend from a tuition perspective is going to change. One significant positive, though, we believe, is that you're going to be able to register and be advised on Granite State College courses that are running. So Granite State College runs, or is going to be running, 2 8-week terms within the regular academic semester. So coming this fall, students here on the Manchester campus, you'll be enrolled in a 16-week semester. Your courses will run 16 weeks. Granite State is actually going to run 2 8-week terms within that 16-week period. So they're going to be teaching 4 credit classes back to back within that term. They're pretty intense because they run over 8 weeks rather than 16. But you're going to have the opportunity as students to sign up for those classes if you choose to. Say there's an online course that is particularly interesting and there's no equivalent here at Manchester, or the schedule on which it's offered here at Manchester doesn't fit with your schedule. Our advisors here, your professional advising team, is going to be able to advise you about what's available on the Granite State catalog that you could take if you choose. And the good news is we have already gotten approval for 40 courses at what is now Granite State College that will count directly for your discovery requirements. So we did this because, number one, coming out of COVID, you told us all that you wished there were more online options available to you. And you also told us that we don't offer enough discovery classes. And so that's why we worked with Durham to say, okay, in the whole Granite State College catalog, and it's a big selection of courses, I mean, hundreds and hundreds a term, you now have 40 and eventually probably something closer to 100 as we move forward that you're going to be able to take as students and get the same credit towards your degree as you would have gotten if all of your classes were being taken here. So we think that's a big net positive to students here. It's going to create, we hope, more flexibility in your schedules and give you a broader selection of things to choose from. Your diploma is still going to say the University of New Hampshire, just like it does today. It will include the degree that you receive, a BA or a BS in something. It'll be signed by me, but it will be signed by me in my capacity as the Dean of the College of Professional Studies. Today, your diplomas say, and this will still be true, I believe, for the May graduation, it will say the University of New Hampshire signed by me as the Dean of UNH Manchester. But going forward after July 1st, it will say University of New Hampshire, Dean of College of Professional Studies. Same UNH diploma, but just a different college affiliation. And that's what all of your fellow students on the Durham campus have. It's the University of New Hampshire. It looks exactly the same as the diploma here, signed by the dean of the college in which you attend in Durham. Transcript, same thing. They'll be issued by the University of New Hampshire, and it will indicate the degree you received and your college affiliation at the time you graduated. So hopefully that answered some of the questions you already had, and maybe provided a perspective that we hadn't offered as clearly as maybe I did today. But I think this is a good thing. The far bigger impact is going to be on our Granite State College organization. They used to run 3 12-week terms during the academic year. And so we're actually changing their entire catalog, their entire calendar to now run 4 8-week terms during the same period. Now, it turns out that the big online schools like SNHU, that's how they already operate. So Granite State College wasn't exactly structuring their calendar like the big places like Arizona and SNHU and Purdue were running their classes. So it puts us much more in a competitive position and somewhat, more aligned with the market for online learning. But it is a big change where they're going to have to progress much more quickly through their degree programs because of the requirements of federal financial aid. And we've been communicating a lot with the Granite State College community because everything about their experience is changing. The calendar is changing. The name of their institution is changing. Their diplomas are going to change. And so we've been, working regularly with that community because we don't want to lose them. We don't want them to think we've disappeared and completely, gone away as a Granite State College institution. It's now just part of UNH. And I think so far we're doing pretty well with that.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation. I do have a couple questions that were submitted today.
Okay.
And you did mention that we will be adding more discovery courses.
Yeah.
But will any majors be added?
So possibly. So it's probably unlikely that I don't see us adding any or many residential majors here, Angela. We're pretty happy with the majors that we do have here. The thing that we are thinking about though is whether we will start giving major credit for courses that are at Granite State College. So we haven't gone that far yet. So let's take it, you're taking a business program here, you're majoring in business, and Granite State College has a really appealing sounding course in marketing. Now we're not permitting that yet, but it's something that we are going to be working on as we go forward. So we're starting only with discovery. And then as we go down the road, if it makes sense and it serves students well, and it's something that we can actually logistically manage and handle, because you have to keep track of all of those things, because Granite State College has an online business programs. We have face-to-face business programs here. You have to manage all of that cross-program credit and transfer. And it can be quite complicated to do. We struggle to keep up and manage things with the community colleges. We do some of it here within UNH already, although we do very little of it. So it's something that we know students may be asking for, but it's not something that we're doing on day one.
Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I do. So you were just talking about, so are they going to be transfer credits or will they just be UNH?
There'll be UNH credits. So you will not have to go for discovery. You won't have to go through a prior credit approval process. It's going to be presented to you just like every other course.
Okay.
So in fact, we've been working hard to put together a fully integrated catalog and course schedule where you're going to be able to see as students every single Granite State College course that's taught, not just the discovery. You'll be able to see every single one. Now, some of them you'll be able to just register and immediately get discovery credit. Others you might have to petition to get credit for.
Okay.
Just like you do today, right? So if you take a course at MCC or St. Anselm's, you can petition to have that count for general credit or discovery credit or even major credit in some cases if you choose to. That mechanism will still be available.
Okay. And okay.
You can follow it?
Yeah. So will Granite State College be able to take classes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, that doesn't happen a lot because students that go to an online campus in general go because they can't drive somewhere to take a class. But Granite State College used to offer actually a fair number of face-to-face classes. The location, the campus up at 25 Hall Street in Concord was it was an active campus at one time. We have a location up in Conway, New Hampshire, that was a face-to-face campus for some time. That has almost all gone away, so as students have gotten comfortable with online education, they've seen the convenience. They basically go in one of two directions. They come to a residential campus with online options, or they go to a fully online. Now, we do have some cases. Granite State College has a large number of veterans students, and it turns out that as a veteran, you can actually get greater federal financial aid if you take a certain number of face-to-face classes. You can actually get more reimbursement. And so we do believe that there will be from time to time some Granite State College students, especially veterans students that are enrolled, who want to come to a physical campus, and they will be coming here. And so they'll be free to take classes here. We don't think it's going to happen very often, but it could happen from time to time, especially if we start giving major credit across programs.
Because will their tuition be the same?
No, they're going to continue to pay the same tuition rate per credit hour as they pay today.
Okay, and that's even if they decide to come here and take in-person?
Yeah, because we think it's going to happen seldomly. And it turns out that, and most people don't know this, students can do that today already.
Yeah, that's what I do. My major is an online program.
Right, but actually what I was saying is that if you're a student from at New England College in Henniker, you can come here and take a course for free.
Oh.
And as a student, you can go to New England College and take a course for free, because we have an arrangement. It's called the NHCUC Consortium Agreement that basically says, if a student wants to take an occasional course here or there, even though they're, enrolled at, place A, if they want to take one at place B, we're just going to let them do that. We're not going to exchange money. We're not going to charge the student, as long as they're enrolled as a full-time student in one of the member institutions. So you can go to St. A's, next semester and do that if you choose.
Wow.
And it's been that way for years.
Wow.
And very few students take advantage of it, because in general, they get comfortable in the place they're at.
I didn't know that wasn't.
Yeah.
How exactly would you go about signing up for classes at different colleges? So if I want to take a class at St. A's.
Yeah, you have to go to the registrar's office and say, I'm enrolled at UNH Manchester. I'm a full-time student, and I'd like to enroll in a class, and via the NHCUC Consortium Agreement, I'm permitted to do that, and they know that. We have students, remember when the New Hampshire Institute of Art was still in operation in Manchester? Used to be the Art Institute. We used to host a lot of students from the New Hampshire Institute of Art who would come here and take classes, because the Institute didn't have a large number of liberal arts programs, so they really couldn't afford to do that. So we actually provided the courses to those students, and they did it all for free.
So you could choose to take a class somewhere else for free and petition for that to be like major.
You could, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But again, you have to be enrolled here.
Yeah.
That's the hitch. You have to be a full-time enrolled student.
Yeah.
Check with your advisor too.
Yeah. You want to check.
Yeah, like walk in, I want to take this, just to make sure. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, you really don't want to go do that without sort of knowing in advance that it's going to count towards your degree.
Because
Almost everything counts towards your 128, but not everything counts towards discovery, and not everything counts towards your major.
And will they be just transfer credit, or will they be counted as UNH credit?
Even Granite State taking, it's going to be regular credit.
Oh, so if I took a class at at the consortium.
Oh, that's a transfer credit. Yeah. Non-transcripted. From a grade point of view.
Well, it wasn't a question, it was more of a comment. Like, I just wanted to say thank you, first of all, for doing this town hall merger. And secondly, like, I just think adding like the 40 discovery courses is like really huge, because I think people will be very, very excited about having those options for discoveries. Like, I personally know I'm super excited as well. So just thank you, honestly, yeah.
Anybody else? Any questions? No, the questions that I have been answered.
Okay, time for pizza?
Yeah.
Fantastic.